Warning, this show is a scam, but not as big of a scam as the ones you will learn about tonight. Keep hold of your wallet and don't believe what the three fat buffoons that run this show tell you. Scammers of History, Volume 3 gets deep, fat fry.
I'm taking notes.
You're taking notes?
Yeah.
Well, I think me and Paul are waiting for you to say,
I got my
welcome to Deep
notepad.
Fat Ride.
Fuck that shit. I'm taking my notes. Let's do it.
You're taking notes?
Tell me the scam. I want to run it. I'm going to run every
scams. We're going to talk about multiple scams.
Every scam you talk about tonight, I'm going to run my own version of it. Tired of this shit. Tired of being poor. Yeah. Sucker 101. There's a fucking sucker for you. I want to know. Doug Stanhope brought it up, but you know what? It's just, he made it as a joke, but it's a legitimate question. If these old people are so fucking goddamn like, I know what I'm talking about, Sonny. I have wisdom with age. How come they're the most fucking likely to fall for these goddamn scams, huh? How come they're the ones who buy into all this bullshit? How come they're the most gullible people on the face of the fucking earth? I thought the one thing they were supposed to have is all kinds of experience. So why are they such fucking saps?
Because their brains fail.
Yeah, we're not necessarily going to talk about old people being scammed, but this is more of like a sad scam. This is actually and this is kind of an old, so I kind of start this episode off a little old school. So these are some scams from the 19th century. Because of course,
Tom, bring them back. Tom, bring them back.
Maybe you could. I think this one would definitely work nowadays with the things like GoFundMe and shit. How about a suicide scam?
Okay.
You guys down for that? You cool with that?
It sounds interesting.
Okay, let me tell you. So in the spring of 1869, or actually, excuse me, 1859.
69 is funnier.
I know, but my brain went there, but I was like, wait a minute, it's actually 59.
69, bro.
Folks were concerned about another kind of hustle, TJ. A man who went by the name of Avey. Want to guess his last name, TJ?
His first name is Avey?
His first name is Avey. His last name is?
Carlisle.
That's a good one. It's Lamartine.
Lamartine? How the fuck was I going to come out with Lamartine? What a random assortment of goddamn syllables with a connection.
I just wanted to set you up for failure. I'm sorry, TJ.
Yeah, like at least got to be a real name. Lamartine and Schmom.
So we'll call him Avey because fuck his last name.
AV Club here, yeah.
Yeah. He drifted from town to town in the Midwest, pretending to attempt suicide. He would walk into a hotel, according to a newspaper accounts of the story from Salem, Oregon, all the way to Richmond, Virginia, and other places. And he appeared depressed as he requested a room. Once settled in, he would ring a bell for assistance. When someone arrived, AV would point to an empty bottle at the table labeled 2 ounces of laudanum, basically an opium derivative, and call for a clergyman. People rushing to his bedside to help him would find a suicide note. The Good Samaritans would summon a doctor, administer emetics, and nurse him as he recovered. It's really nice of them. You know, someone's in desperate need for help and people are reaching out. But just somehow AV, he kind of knew that his situation would kind of engender this sort of assistance. You know, people are going to get a doctor. Oh, we got to help him. And of course, financial assistance from kind strangers.
Wow.
So this is how it would play out. Everyone, fawns over this guy. Oh, get him a doctor, get him this. He is restored with difficulty. And sympathetic people raise a purse for him, and he departs.
Wow. This is pretty fucking low right here, man.
I know, right? He shows
This
up
is cockroach level scamming right here, but
he's like, man, you guys, I'm so fucking depressed, And then he tries to kill himself. The next thing you know, people are like, it's okay, man, don't kill yourself. I'm so tired, I've got no money, can't afford this. It's all right, man. Have some money. It's okay. We saved that man's life.
Yep.
wow.
Basically taking advantage of like the best in human nature. Like, let's help a fellow human being in need. Suckers.
Yep.
Should teach them fucking pieces of shit. Fuck, man.
Well, that's why you have a lot of hard-nosed, skeptical people in the world that even if someone is like, I'm in a bad way, you're just like, nope.
Go fuck yourself, scammer.
Because even if you're not, people will assume you are. So using this modus operandi, Laramantine was making his way across Ohio. He raised $25 in Dayton. Remember, this is 1859. And $40 in Sandusky, departing with, quote, a free pass on the railroad to commit suicide at some other place.
Wow.
Yeah. So this guy was just riding the rails, taking his act. I mean, he's just a traveling act at that point. He gives people entertainment in a boring little town. Makes people
guess
feel
so,
important.
yeah. I mean, if you look at it that way, just kind of like
he's a con man. Yeah, so that's what
something
it was.
for the people to talk about at church for the next 2 weeks, How they all came together and saved that man and sent him on his way. What a bunch of dupes.
Well, that's what you need for a scam, of course. You need the dupe, you need the mark, the person that believes, like, and obviously with scams, it's, hey, we're helping this guy, or there's this lucrative money-making opportunity, but of course you need to come up with this cash immediately, or you're not going to be a millionaire. How about the disappearing act? And okay, Homer's working now. So this one's a little bit different. Two women, often assisted by a man, were notorious for pulling off a clever ploy, as reported in the Cincinnati Enquirer of July 9th, 1881. So these three people would show up in a town, and the man would rent rooms for the ladies at a boarding house.
Mm-hmm.
The two women would then go on a lavish shopping spree at whatever store, and select, of course, a quantity of goods, invariably laces, or such light, valuable materials as could be easily disposed of. I think you're getting why in a minute. The women would instruct the merchant to send the goods around to the boarding house, so of course they could try them on. When the store representative arrived, one of the ladies would be in the parlor to say she was taking all the merchandise to show her sister and husband. Let me go in this other room and show them what we have here. The swindlers would then disappear from the house with the goods, the paper reported, leaving the messenger patiently awaiting his cash.
Wow.
That's a pretty stupid motherfucking messenger, dude. Like, why would you ever let goods out of your sight? You know what I mean?
I mean,
you're there to fucking sell.
Dude, it's just you got to be slick. I bet some of them probably wouldn't,
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. There's probably some that are like, nah, let me see the money.
Let me just go take these. Let me just take these goods into the other room. I mean, it's barely a scam. It's basically just like, yeah, bring all that merchandise over here. Yeah, looking good. I'm gonna just take this in the other room for a second. BRB.
Yeah, I mean, this is a scam that you gotta admire it, but it just wouldn't work really today because, like, you gotta have show valid ID and shit to get at a boarding house, and there's all the fucking investigative agencies and shit that would be looking for you if you were pulling this type of shit. So, You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
yeah.
I wonder what the longest anyone ever
you could just like go and like say whatever your name was. Like, oh yeah, this is Jenny and Joni Fife, and I'm Jack Fife, and I'm renting them the fucking thing, and like how are they gonna find you? You know what I mean? Like, who's gonna track you down?
It was a lot more informal at that time. It was like you go in and it's like, oh, you look like you're, a decent enough person. You're not like drunk or fucked up. You have cash. You want a room. It's not my business what you do with the room. That was kind of the mentality at that time. Was like, whatever. Like, you're involved in whatever. You paying me the rent? Yeah, I don't give a shit what you're doing.
TJ's
scribbling this one down.
This is fucking. It's almost not worth writing, but. It's just like, I don't know. I just feel like you'd have to have some other level of subterfuge nowadays to make it work. But maybe the simplicity of it is the beauty of it,
Look, there's scams that I guarantee you can literally watch in a movie that you could go pull on people. It's just because, a lot of scams take advantage of there's an immediate thing that you somehow have this opportunity. Or there's just something oh, wow, you get this amazing thing, or you get to go here, or you get to, so give me your information. Like, when you're involved in a scam, a lot of people, it's like, oh, well, from the outside looking in, it's like, that was obviously a scam. You got suckered. But when you're involved in something, especially if there's something lucrative involved for you, which is like, oh, these people have come into town, and I'm going to make a lot of money off them. That's tempting to a merchant. It's like, maybe they normally wouldn't go, but like these people probably played a part too. That's all you're not really seeing here. Is like, I'm sure they just shouldn't go in the shop looking like some bums, like, just give us all your finest things and send it over this little shitty boarding house. We'll pay you there. They probably acted the part, like they're sophisticated. This is normal. And of course you're going to send it over there. And of course, just send a boy over with all the goods immediately, Oh yes, that's a land baron there. Better do what he says, Because people are fucking dumb. They want to believe that they're gonna have a good opportunity to make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Fortunately for them, they're actually losing a bunch of money. This one's called the Man of the Cloth.
Okay. I think I know this one.
Yeah, so basically you convince everyone that there's like, it's kind of hard, but like if you can fucking pull it off, it's great.
Yeah.
You basically convince everyone there's like an invisible dude in the sky that watches everyone all the time, and that you got his ear, and then you can just pretty much fleece them for life. They'll just like, and if they ever ask for evidence, just be like, the invisible man is going to punish you for questioning. You have to accept the invisible man on faith, It's a pretty awesome scam.
So is this like a sub scam of the scam of religion?
Yes.
Sweet.
Sub scam.
And believe me, this is not the only religious scam we will encounter tonight.
Well, religion itself is a scam, so
I know, but the sub scams of religion, where people actually sometimes scam the parishioners.
Cool. I like it.
One day in May of 1888, the Newcastle, Pennsylvania Daily City News reported a man who introduced himself as Father McCarthy of Montreal. He showed up at the St. Aloysius Catholic Church in Washington, D.C. McCarthy presented appropriate documentation to the head priest, whose name was E.A., these fucking old names, McGurk Jr. Father McGurk, very much pleased with the suave visitor, graciously tendered him the hospitalities of the I'm not sure how you say this, parochial residence. The reporter noted. On Monday, McCarthy visited a jewelry store on Pennsylvania Avenue. He said he was looking for a gift for the cardinal. He picked out some choice diamonds to be brought over to McGurk's residence. When the jeweler, I love this. When the jeweler, I'm sorry, I love this so much. When the jeweler arrived, McCarthy met him at the door, dressed as a priest. He took the diamonds into another room, ostensibly to show the other holy man, and he slipped out the back, never to be seen again.
Wow. So see, this is the same scam as before, but with a better subterfuge. It's like you fucking show up. You fucking be like, I'm Father McAfee from fucking Sothersburg or whatever the fuck. You fucking make it in you get in tight with the fucking local, priest, fucking show him some bullshit credentials. Yeah, I'm from fucking, yeah. And it's like, wow, this guy's great. The next thing you know, fucking get the dude to show up with a bunch of diamonds because you've already got obviously you're a priest. You're at a priest's house. This is the known fucking priest. All this shit going on. Everything's fucking normal. Everything seems fucking legit on the level. People are just like, obviously, no one thinks they're going to get fucking. I mean, you do think you're going to get fucked by the Catholic Church, but not in that way.
Right.
So you show up, with your diamonds. You feel like your diamonds are perfectly safe in that scenario because it's like, oh, it's a priest going to show another priest. Like, they're not going to steal my fucking diamonds.
I'll give you an example. Okay. You or I call up a jeweler, TJ, and we say, bring this super expensive stuff over to my house.
Yeah, they're going to be like, fuck you.
They're going to be like, you don't live in a fucking mansion. Like, no. But if fucking, let's say a New Orleans Saints player calls up and says, bring over, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, because you have social currency. There's something about you. It's like, you're wealthy or you're well connected. I mean, obviously, the Catholic Church they know has got tons of money, so it's like, what's the fucking harm? Yeah, let me show Father fuck all back there the expensive diamonds. I'll be right back.
Sweet.
How about this one, TJ?
So here, what I'm saying, you gotta get an Airbnb mansion,
and
then call them up and be like, "Yes, I am Lord Kensington of Starsborough or whatever the fuck," and they come and bring the diamonds, But the problem is, then there's record of you fucking running the Airbnb. So,
fake ID.
Yeah, you have to fucking fake your way through that and make sure that's not traceable. But then you get yourself a mansion. They'll be like, yes, I'm at the Orangington Grove Estate or whatever. They come by with the diamonds, Just come by with all your jewels. I want to. I can't be troubled to travel to your location. You must come to
my
me.
Estate in Beverly Hills. Of course they're gonna be like, a gentleman.
Next thing you know, boom, run out of town with them diamonds. All for the price of a fucking one night in a fucking Airbnb.
That you probably put on a stolen credit card.
Hell yeah.
How about this one, TJ? Horse trading, boy.
Horse trading?
Yeah.
So you just in the street, hey, you want this horse? Let's trade horses.
So that's how it goes.
Okay.
This is a quote from a paper in the 1880s. Swindlers have struck a new scheme for beating the unhappy Granger, who is inclined to make more money more rapidly than by the pass of strict rectitude. I love the way they wrote back then. The Parsons Daily Sun, Kansas, pointed out in July of 1889. Dapperly dressed man number 1 shows up at the farmhouse and offers to buy a good horse. He gives the horse owner $10. And we're talking greenbacks, TJ, cash dollars.
Right.
And promises to return in a week to pay the difference and collect the horse. The next day, though.
So wait, hold on. So you show up, you dress well. You're like, I'm looking for a horse.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, we got horses. Like, all right, I'll make a down payment on a horse. Here's $10 just so you know I'm legit. Hold the horse for me. I'll be back in a week with the rest.
Yeah, I'll come back in a week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pay you the difference.
All right.
The next day, well-dressed man number 2 appears at the same farm and expresses keen interest. Can you guess what horse, TJ?
In the exact same horse, right?
Oh, wow, TJ, you must be psychic.
Yeah.
And in fact, he's got to have this horse. This is the horse for him. He sees this horse like, this is my stone.
Yeah.
He offers $10, $15, $25, more than the price for man number 1 had offered. The farmer says, I cannot sell the horse. So man number 2 says he will come back in a week. And if the horse is still available, he will pay the extra $25 for it. When man number 1 returns, the farmer wants to keep the horse and make the extra money. So he gives man number 1 his $10 back and an extra $10 for his troubles. Number 1 takes his money, the reporter explains, is $10 ahead, half of which he gives to number 2, and the farmer still owns the horse.
Damn.
That one just honestly, that one really is deserved though, because that farmer's being a shit fuck, and so he deserves to be. So it's kind of like one of those scams that you can really excuse by just wrapping it in moral rectitude. He's like, this dude was gonna rip us off, you know what I mean? I put the $10 down on the horse. I shook the dude's fucking hand, and he was going to scam me, but we just, now it does seem like a lot of work for $10, but $10 back then must have been a lot of money.
Let's see what we can. I mean, let me do a fucking inflation calculator on that. I mean, it's like $250 basically.
Okay.
So I mean, it's basically a scam where you could make fucking like $250.
Right, but I mean, you could have like 6 of these going.
You go around the town and just do it. Like you just need a partner. So I mean, you're splitting that $250. So I mean, it's like not a scam you're gonna get rich off of. But like if you're just a fucking hustler and you're grifting from town to town, it's a quick way to make some easy money.
Yep.
It's a valuation scam. It's saying I value the horse at this, and then someone says, actually, I value the horse at this, some outrageous amount. So of course you're gonna go, well, I have to get rid of this guy. This guy's already coming to town, and the guy's gonna be like, I want the horse. It's like, well, I can't get, all right, you know what? Here, take some money. That's because I mean, obviously that's a way to smooth things over. You're not getting the horse, but I'm giving you a little cash.
I mean, there's a few things that can go wrong with this scam too. Like, so the second guy could come and be like, I want that horse and I'll pay $25. That dude the farmer might just be like, you know what? Fuck that dude that already made his down payment. I'll just fucking take that now. Yeah, sure. And then it's like, what are you gonna do?
The other scammer doesn't have the money either. Like I guess you're right, because he said he'd come back in a week and see if it's sold or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So he's supposed to offer it on the spot, and then the other farmer's supposed to be like, no, I already sold it to another guy, blah, 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 blah. And then also, what if the fucking farmer or the fucking horse person at the end of like, when he tries to give the other guy his money back, he's like not willing to fucking throw in an extra money for the trouble or whatever the fuck, Then
you beat his ass and steal the horse.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah, I agree with Paul there. I'm sure there's other motives. If like this guy's not willing to give up the money, then it's like, yeah, he's going to get jumped or he's going to get robbed later. Like something's going to befall this guy. So I thought it was interesting to learn about some of these older scams, but how about we go to a more modern one?
Yeah.
Let's see. And you guys probably have never heard of this company. This is ZZZ. So 4 Z's, Best Carpet and Furniture Cleaning Company Incorporated. So this is a Ponzi scheme. Do you guys know what a Ponzi scheme is?
Yeah. I think I
don't.
remember what a Ponzi scheme is.
You don't?
Oh yeah,
okay.
TJ knows exactly what it is.
What is it, TJ?
Now, I think this is basically where you start a bullshit business, right? It's like fucking if I was to be like, TJ's hat shop or whatever the fuck, right?
Okay.
And I go and I find an investor. And then, I tell this investor, like, yeah, I show them like all my fake business, like all my, we're going to make money and blah, blah, blah. And you're going to get a return on your investment, blah, 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 blah.
Usually a fixed or guaranteed like 25% return where it's like, wow, oh my God. Yes.
So then they think they're going to get this great deal. And then you go to another investor and you get them to invest, and you get a bunch of investors. And basically you just start paying your investors back with the profits from new investors. And you're not actually growing the business. You're basically just like attracting bigger and bigger investors, skimming all the money you can off the top, and then paying back the old investors with money from new investors. So they think they're investing in this legitimate, but the whole thing is just basically like totally reliant on like more and more money coming in from other investors who think that you're running a legitimate business that actually has some sort of function, when actually it's just a front to attract investors to scam them out of their money.
That's essentially correct. A Ponzi, so this is more of the technical definition. I wouldn't say accurate. I think TJ's definition is pretty accurate. A Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent investing scam promising higher rates of return with, of course, little risk to investors. A Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent investing scam which generates returns from earlier investors with money taken from later investors, as you would count.
Yep.
This is similar to a pyramid scheme in that both are based on using new investors' funds to pay the earlier backers. Both Ponzi and pyramid schemes eventually bottom out when the flood of new investors dries up and there isn't enough money to go around.
Yeah, unless you're fucking what's his face, the most famous Ponzi guy, Madoff, like he kept attracting bigger and bigger investors. It seemed like it was never gonna fucking end.
Well, he just got to such a big time where like that people, they never dried up. There was always a new person to bring in because he was so powerful and well connected that it was like, okay, this is a fucking no-brainer.
But eventually he got bits. It was so big that it fucking drew some kind of scrutiny, obviously, and then that was done. He was actually punished because he fucking scammed
Bernie Madoff, actually, it was shown, a guy that worked for the SEC actually had shown that his returns were impossible.
Right.
what he was doing was like the guy's like, this guy is literally, there's no possible way. Like he proved it conclusively, and it was just ignored because it was like, he's got rich and powerful friends and they're happy. So you can just fuck off
because so many people had seen return on their investment at that point. Everyone's like, no, Bernie, he's legit. I made all kinds of money with him. You know what I mean?
Of course. I do want to cover him in one, but I mean, he's like the king of.
He'd almost like be his own.
Yeah, he's his own fucking episode.
Yeah.
So how about this, guys? How about some advertising from ZZZZZZZZ Best Carpet Cleaning?
Cool.
Me and Paul have the exact same reaction for some reason. But yeah.
Cool. Let me check my volume shit. Now you guys gonna get on my ass about that. You go, hey, I can't fucking hear it. Which I mean is a legitimate gripe, but
thanks for acknowledging the legitimacy of that gripe.
Well, I mean it is, but I'm still just a whiny asshole. It's like, damn it, I'm always right. All right. Let's see how the other carpet cleaning guys treat you when they come to your
like
door.
Shit.
Hi, Terrific Tommy's here. We're gonna clean your carpets.
How much?
How much?
How much?
How much you got?
Fuck that.
Hi, we're the carpet cleaning twins. I'm Bait. I'm Switch. You want to know about our 2-for-1 offer?
If you're tired of going through the same problems
that was
every
horrible.
time you want your carpets cleaned, it's time you called us. I'm Barry Minko, president of Z-Best Carpet Cleaning. We clean carpets with such care, I'll guarantee the work and our price in writing.
Z-Best, the last word in carpet cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that seems like my carpet clean. I mean, you know, like the first people they show up were just, and you saw them, they were fucking, they just wanted money, obviously. They're just like, you ask for a price of like how much money you got.
Was one of those dudes, were those two twin guys, was that Louis Anderson?
Dude,
I did not think so. We can go back and look though.
I just saw Louis Anderson in Coming to America, and I gotta say, yeah, he's looking bad.
Motherfucking
I mean, not that he was ever looking good, but like he's looking real bad.
Man, saying he's fat at this point is an understatement.
But yeah, I don't want those creepy twins cleaning the carpet either. I think this dude with the suit who guarantees everything in writing, that's
and
the
that
one I
hair
want.
too. Oh my God, so manly and thick it is. I want him to clean my carpet. Hey, when you're done with the rug in there, Barry, why don't you come on in here? There's another rug that could use a good washing, if you know what I mean.
Damn. I think Barry's going to be there. So ZZZZ Best was founded by Barry Minko and was a carpet cleaning and restoration company that served as a front, of course, a Ponzi scheme. The company went public in December 1986 and was quickly valued at over $300 million. That's a lot of money. Within 7 months of the IPO, ZZZZ Best was bankrupt and its assets were auctioned for approximately $64,000.
Tisk.
So while in high school, Barry, featured here, reformed ZZZZ Best in his parents' garage. The business performed poorly, and the 15-year-old Minko was often inundated with customer complaints and supplier collection requests. So basically, he had a bunch of collections on his ass. To create an illusion of profitable business, Minko began committing criminal acts such as check kiting, theft, insurance scams, and fraud to fund operations and pay suppliers. Within a few years of ZZZZ's Best inception, Minko launched fictitious insurance restoration and appraisal businesses. I mean, of course, if you don't have legitimate clients, why not make some up? So all active, Z-Best was at the center of a credit card scheme involving over $70,000 in fraudulent charges. And of course, Minko here assigned blame to contractors and employees. He repaid all of the victims except for one. A homemaker, he swindled out of a few $100. So I guess everyone else, he's like, fuck it, I'll pay him back.
Not that guy. Not that piece of shit.
That guy, fuck him. He don't need to get paid back.
Got swindled. Minko is so fucking hard, dude. He gave back everybody's money, and then he was like, but your $100 is in my pocket now, bitch. Keeping yours.
Why? That just sucks to be that guy. Just like,
fuck.
Nah, someone's getting swindled.
He must have fucking pissed off Barry Minkow somehow. You know what I mean?
He
Must have said something that pissed him off.
So let's learn a little bit more about their big scheme. Minkow and business associate Tom Paget created a fictitious company, Interstate Appraisal Service, to defraud banks and other lending institutions out of millions of dollars. Why not? So Tom Paget, who was an insurance claims adjuster, conspired with Minkow to forge documents crediting ZBest for restoration work and use of Interstate Appraisal Services as the source to verify the claims. Increasingly, investors and bankers developed an interest in ZBest based on fraudulent financial statements produced by the Minkow firm.
Well, what about his fucking written guarantee, though? You know what's lost in all this, Scotty, is like, were they good carpet cleaners or not? You know what I mean?
I think the point is they had no business, TJ.
They weren't cleaning anybody's carpet.
I saw them do a commercial. They're licensed, they're bonded, they're insured.
Barry
they guarantee it in writing.
Yeah, he looked you right in the face and told you he wasn't going to scam you and everything.
So
said
like,
he
what the
liked
hell?
the horse. Okay. Said he wanted to give you $10 for it, and he'd bring the rest in a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how did he do it, Scotty? Was he a good carpet cleaner? Did he clean your carpet or what?
I'm actually pointing it. Like, actually, Barry was the best carpet cleaner in the world, and I actually went on to own several successful carpet cleaning businesses. You might have heard of them, Stanley Steamer.
Wow. Awesome.
No, actually, unfortunately for Barry, the scheme continued. ZBest experienced significant cash flow problems. As a solution, you'll guys will love this, Minkow planned to acquire KeyServe, Sears authorized carpet cleaner, for $25 million. He's going to buy its competitor. That's a great way to get out of your jam, right? Because they actually have clients. So, that could help. According to Minkow, the revenues from KeyServe would provide enough cash flow to end the Ponzi scheme. So he was going to go legit. The oldest trick, oh, look, I'm going to go legit.
I'm getting in too deep.
It can happen. You can go legit. And at that point, you just have your business.
Can it, though? Can it really? Can it really happen?
It can happen, but it's very improbable.
Yeah.
My understanding, and this is maybe sort of a semi-apocryphal thing, but my understanding is that Popeye's Chicken started as a drug front. So maybe, if that story is true.
Well, it was said that Al Copeland, who founded Popeyes, was a large marijuana dealer in the New Orleans area. So, like, he was dealing out of his stores, and when his stores caught on, he just, I'm not selling weed anymore. So, maybe. But drugs are a little bit different. I mean, that's the same thing about the Kennedys. They were fucking rum runners.
Yeah, they were bootleggers at one point. Yeah. So, it's possible to go legit.
Only for drug stuff, though.
Only for drug stuff, yeah.
But they were in a different business entirely. Like, they made their money and then they got into legitimate businesses. That's the difference.
Well, this guy was trying to do that. He made his money. He was trying to go legit. But I'm assuming that his idea that was going to be enough to fucking make the Ponzi scheme like solvent and like erase it was probably not true.
So, too bad for this guy. Before the deal was closed, someone from Indigo comes back. The jilted homemaker sparked a campaign against ZBest that would expose more than the fraud committed against her.
Damn.
Dude, he
should have paid that $100.
Yeah, should have paid that motherfucker, dude. What the hell?
That is the downfall of a lot of people.
The hubris.
You'd be surprised. Like, they'll be involved in these huge scams, and it'll be one guy. It's like, you didn't pay me that $500, and it's like, fuck him.
That was like, I think it was in that fucking book, the fucking Rules of Power or whatever the fuck. I can't remember how it was. Like, it's like some number and then Rules of Power, and it's all just a bunch of Machiavellian shit. But one of the things in there was they were talking about these scammers that they fucking duped this farmer. I need to find this fucking story so I can tell you in more detail. But the gist of the story is these scammers duped this farmer, and this farmer basically goes batshit crazy. He was so pissed that he got scammed that he literally like abandoned his farm, destroyed his marriage, did everything and fucking just liquidated all of his assets and devoted the rest of his fucking like life and fortune and everything to getting back at the scammers who had scammed him, right? Ended up spending way more money getting his revenge, but at the end of the day, he did bring all of his scammers to justice. So,
fuck, dude.
So yeah, you just never know. You scam the wrong fucking person, you know?
Yeah, you fucking can, dude. That's a great story. So the LA Times featured her story, which caused Zbest's stock price to decline sharply. Well, of course, it's like these are a bunch of swindlers. Lenders began to call their loans, and more investigations commenced, unraveling Minko's dark web of deceit and fraud. Eventually, the truth behind the fictitious companies revealed, and the Ponzi scheme exposed.
The company was started in 1981 by a 15-year-old whiz-kid entrepreneur named Barry Minko. Yes, 15. In his parents' garage.
Z-Best.
It was a pretty good business.
I'm Barry Minko, president of Z-Best Carpet Cleaning.
Ads on TV, trucks all over Southern California.
Don't worry, I can handle my people. Don't worry.
But by the time he was 19, Barry Minko wanted to be the king of carpet cleaning. So he hired Mark Moores to raise the cash he needed to take the company public. What Moores pitched to investors was a 50% profit.
So you gotta love that. So it's like, we're about to hear just like how literally when they had that deal on the table, and they're not talking about like unsophisticated investors. We're talking about people with millions of dollars to invest. We're just throwing money at this company.
It was like giving away $100 bills. People say, can I give you more? You only want $1.5 million? Can I give you $5 million?
Mark Moores was getting a 10% commission. So soon, the kid who grew up poor was living large.
And you paid cash for this house?
Yes.
Buying houses.
Well, I think it had about 7 or 8 bedrooms.
At one point, Moores says he had 5 cars.
I had a Rolls Royce, which to me was the definition of somebody who's made it. I had a Porsche Turbo. I had a Jaguar V12. I had a couple of Mercedes.
All that money was supposedly coming from huge multi-million-dollar repair and restoration projects to office buildings. The only trouble, they were all fake. Like this non-existent $7 million project, supposedly requiring 379,000 square yards of carpet.
We could have carpeted the floors, the ceilings, the walls, and the entire outside of the building and not use up that carpet. But no one ever asked.
At his seminar,
they only ask no one asks if they're getting paid.
Yeah. That's really about it.
The Ponzi scheme might be the best fucking scheme, to be honest with you. I mean, it does eventually get found out or bottom out and shit, but like in terms of just raw money generating potential, it seems like it works like a charm every fucking time.
Well, because
so I'm definitely making a note of that.
You have people with a lot of capital, and it's like I come to you and I'm like, TJ, there's this hot new business. Like, look, we're doing X, Y, or Z. It doesn't matter what the business is, but the business is booming. Like right now, let's say green energy. Like, TJ, I have a solar panel installation company. I want to show you a contract I have right here, TJ.
Right.
This contract is for $25 million to do this major building, the Superdome or whatever. It doesn't matter. Oh my God, they're gonna have the Superdome is going green. Blah blah blah. This business can't lose. We're gonna do this in every stadium in the U.S. This is a multi-billion-dollar. So you come, oh yeah, of course, I'll give you $10 million, and I'm gonna offer you 50% return because you're looking at this like I'm gonna give you $10 million, you're gonna give me $15 million back. It's just too good to be true, But I mean, of course, like people who are rich become greedy. I mean, greed is usually just the center of the scam. It's like the greed of the person perpetuating the scam and the greed of the person who wants to make all the money from this Ponzi scheme. So to launch an IPO, which is an initial public offering, the SEC requires a firm to compile a prospectus, which must include a set of audited financial statements. So you got to basically prove, like, look, this has been audited. This is proven that we're a proven company. Independent CPA firm Ernst & Winnie, now Ernst & Young, audited Z-Best's financials to provide an opinion as to whether the financial statements were free of material misstatement. Assuming an independent third party provided the paperwork, the CPAs used false appraisal documents to perform its audit. When the CPA firm requested to visit the building refurbishing customer site, Minkow and his associates rented a building and created a bogus customer job site.
Wow.
Oh, we want to come see it. Oh, here it is. Look, we're doing all this stuff.
No problem.
Here.
Next week, work for you?
Yeah. Bring the carpet in. Oh, bring another roll of carpet in. Oh, we're carpeting everything here. $7 million job. Company's doing well.
Everything's just looking peachy keen.
I guess not.
Whoops.
In January,
they put him in a tiny jail.
They did. Here, let's make it even. Can I make it smaller? I'm trying. In January of 1988, Minkow and 10 other company insiders were indicted by a grand jury on counts of racketeering, money laundering, securities fraud, embezzlement, mail fraud, bank fraud, and tax evasion.
Wow.
I mean, look.
Look, nobody's fucking perfect, okay?
Oh, you know. Got a few charges on my right. Got a few securities fraud, whatever. Money laundering, racketeering, embezzlement, mail fraud, bank fraud, and tax evasion. Who hasn't?
Who hasn't fucking indulged in a little mail fraud from here? And every now and again.
Minkow himself separately was also indicted on counts of credit card fraud and mail fraud. But I mean, who's counting? A few other little minor charges as well, in addition.
Well, it is.
Approximately a year later, so that'd be 1989. Minkow was, of course, found guilty on all charges and sentenced to 25 years in prison and ordered to pay over $26 million in restitution.
Damn.
That's where the story ends, right? That's the end of Barry Minkow. He was done. He learned his lesson.
A scammer is going to scam, dude.
Scammers, keep on scamming.
Turned over a new leaf.
Yeah.
After his release in 1995, he became an ordained minister and served as a pastor of a California church.
Dope.
Minkow also informally investigated and reported on other Ponzi schemes, which he had some success with. And actually, there's a whole other thing, but I want to save it for another episode. So he got involved in more fraudulent shit. Let's put it this way. He was exposing fraud, but his exposing fraud thing, in essence, was a fraud.
That's
awesome. I want to cover that on another episode because he actually has another one. In 2011, he was again convicted for fraud and sentenced to 5 years in prison. But how about this? Got a nice little video of what Barry's been up to lately. He might even be out now.
Cool. Hey, Barry.
The preacher who built his Mira Mesa congregation.
You turn that up, Scotty.
Has received the maximum punishment. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt. Barry Minkow.
Kimberly Hunt, huh?
Wow.
I'm done.
No, I don't blame you.
Movie being made about his life. New at 7 o'clock. 10 News reporter Matt Mendez explains how the film is going forward, even with Minkow locked up.
I want to see this movie if they ever make it.
I think it was made.
Cool.
He was already convicted twice of fraud. They say the sentence is too little, and there's nothing that's going to stop him from doing this again.
Cool.
And by the way, that was his second. I believe at this time they're talking about his second time being convicted of fraud. This actually is his third time, I believe, being convicted of fraud.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
The news story didn't even get that actually
I would
accurate.
like to have seen some remorse and restitution, an apology to the people that he hurt.
Pastor Scott isn't satisfied with Barry Minkow's 5-year prison sentence. Minkow was once the senior pastor here at Community Bible Church in Mira Mesa and was trusted by many parishioners, including Debbie Roller.
He used the congregation, the people.
Shocking that this guy with this past would defraud and use you.
Man, I can't.
It coming.
It's like,
Well, that's a big thing. You know that Barry definitely used that to his advantage of like that Christian guilt. Like I gave myself to God in jail and I've turned over a new leaf. And what happened the last time? I slipped up. I just slipped up a little bit, but I'm getting back right with God.
I flipped over a new scam.
It's fucking beautiful. So they were actually making a movie about his life and his redemption and shit.
Yeah.
Starring Mark Hamill, Justin Baldoni, Talia Shire, and Ving Rhames, right? It was partially funded by donations from his congregation. So following his arrest, the film's release was canceled and work began on a new ending. The film, retitled Con Man, which was originally titled Ming Cow, was eventually released in March of 2018. So basically, they just took the movie they had, and it was about like how he was a scammer, but then he became a good man, and they're just like, fuck it, change the ending, and put it out as Con Man, you know?
Idiot. Oh, you stupid fuck.
I love that, dude.
And the crazy thing is that he actually played himself as a middle-aged man in the movie. He played like himself in the movie, I guess, at one point.
Yeah.
So like he's actually in the movie about what a con artist he is, I guess. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's dope.
He developed relationships with people so that he can benefit himself in the long run.
Wow, you just described what a scam artist does. Like,
so beautiful.
I mean, but such a blatant scam artist. It's like, it's one thing if you had never pulled a scam before or never been convicted of it. When someone, it's like, hey, let's bring this guy into our fold. Anything we should know about him? Yeah, he's been convicted for fraud a couple times. What? Yeah, he had a bullshit cleaning business, and then he shorted stocks and manipulated them. No big deal, though. It's like, wait a minute.
By the way, he is out as of June 6, 2019, by the way.
Oh, shit.
So he's out there. So I wonder what he's... we need to fucking get... we need to see how he's doing. I want to get in touch with Barry Minkow and see what his latest scam is.
He's scamming now, man.
Yeah, let's let him have his redemption arc here on fucking Deep Fat Fried.
Yeah. This is our new business manager.
Yeah, great.
In over 10 years, he opened up fraudulent bank accounts in his name and took out loans. At his sentencing, he declined to speak and kept his head down as victims read emotional statements about how their lives are forever changed. Minkow came to the church after claiming he had turned his life around. He even made appearances on 60 Minutes and Oprah as a changed man after serving 7 years in prison for a Ponzi scheme.
Until I realized that my whole life was a con.
And now...
Wow. And he was right.
I
He's
love
like,
this guy.
Up to and including this moment, of course.
Yeah.
Now I realize the error of my ways.
Dude, what's great is now they're working. He's working with HBO, getting his fucking a little documentary made about himself.
Oh my god, bro.
Yep.
He's just not gonna stop, is he? He's just one of those people.
The man who kept on scamming.
The never-ending scam, dude.
I mean, he probably just like recognizes it like part of his like cycle in life. It's like, look, I have my scam. I get to live large, for like 15 years or however long it is. I get caught. I do like 5 years. Yeah. And just repeat it until he's fucking dead.
Such a scammer. He even stiffed people at his own funeral, huh? Get it? Because he's so stiff.
Yeah.
Dude, Barry Minkow probably will stiff the people that handle his funeral.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Minkow is playing the older version of himself, and it includes Hollywood heavyweights like James Caan. Now the film's director is making appropriate changes.
There's two ways to shoot. Either we
love it.
I mean, yeah.
Love it. And he's working with some new people. He's working with fucking HBO or some shit right now on a docu-series about his life. So he's still fucking out there. Still out there making his money. He's probably going to scam them. Docu-series come out. He's like, it's going to have another fake redemption arc.
But now I've really learned my lesson.
This time I've really actually learned my lesson. Oops. I got caught again.
I got caught again.
Oh, Barry.
Barry, what are you thinking?
Barry.
Well, guys, lest people think that we're just picking on Christians, how we go to Scientology.
I like it.
This guy's name is Reid Slatkin. He was a Scientologist. He's dead now, so he can't. His scamming days are over.
Aw.
Perpetuated his Ponzi scheme over a period of 15 years. So he had a pretty good run. From 1986 to 2001, some of his 800 victims include Scientology celebrities like Greta Van was it Strustern?
Susteren.
Oh, Susteren. Okay.
Yep.
And Giovanni Ribisi. Yep. Got scammed by this guy. And then this dude. He got scammed too. So Reid Slatkin had absolutely no training or credentials as an investment advisor or securities broker. Didn't have a fucking thing. But guess what, guys? How about he's you know what he's gonna do? He started an investment club. Now, before that, he was a staff member at the Church of Scientology's Celebrity Center in Hollywood, California. There, he trained other Scientologists, but he wasn't making enough money. He's like, they don't pay me enough. I can't put fucking food on the table. I can't bring home the bacon.
They don't pay those people shit.
Yeah, he wasn't paid shit. So he was like, this isn't fucking working. He therefore left staff and moved to Santa Barbara and began to work in the investment world. His mentor was actually a fellow Scientologist, Bob Duggan, who taught him the basic principles of investing. This dude here, he's a Scientologist. He's a billionaire Scientologist. So in 1986, Slatkin created and operated an informal investment club wherein investors entrusted him to take care of the money they invest with him. Most of his early investors were fellow Scientologists. Slatkin plotted them along for many years with results that were impressive enough for him to solicit even more of his fellow Scientologist money. Scamming his own Scientologist. Can't believe it. Who would think such a thing could happen?
Who are in turn being scammed by the very organization that they're in. Just another example of like the multiple layers of scamming that you open yourself up to when you enter into a religion.
Oh, yes. Like,
because they probably all bought into this dude's shit because he was a Scientologist, and you know what I mean? That definitely greases the wheels amongst Scientologists.
My understanding is his family was in pretty deep with the church. Like, so, like, his, like, grandfather or something had a connection to L. Ron Hubbard or some shit like that, or an uncle or some shit. So it was like, you know, they basically had the blessing of the Church of Scientology to do this. Slatkin soon had several $1 million under management. And of course, he used this money to buy and sell stocks. In the quarterly statements he mailed out, Slatkin fraudulently represented returns to his investors as being 25%. It's pretty good. I'll take 25%. That in turn, of course, what do? You have such great returns, more investors. And of course, it's a Ponzi scheme. So every new investor he brings in pays the old one. But it wasn't all bullshit. Lightning struck for him in 1983 when he made a $75,000 investment in a tech startup named, maybe you guys have heard of this company, Earthlink.
Oh, yeah.
They were a dial-up internet service provider, but that was when that was big. You know, AOL was, of course, a huge company, but Earthlink, I remember, was like, AOL sucks. Use Earthlink. You can even use it for free. So there's something I didn't know about Earthlink. It was owned by fellow Scientologist Sky Dayton. Earthlink was an incredible success and turned his investment, which was $75,000, into $100 million in Earthlink shares. So naturally, this guy, you know, invest $75,000 in your little bullshit company. $100 million. So of course, this gives him an image of like, this guy's a fucking genius. He can just spot that diamond in the rough. He's the guy that can look at these companies and know which one's going to succeed and which one isn't worth your time. Thereafter, began promoting his investment skills to the wealthy in and around Santa Barbara, Montecito, Goleta, and Hope Ranch, where he lived on a palatial 4-acre estate. So of course he's now fucking filthy rich, even richer than he was before, especially based on his Earthlink investments. And now he really has the upper crust. Like, this guy's a genius. You can do whatever you want. And what he's well, the term is actually to explain, like, the people he's close to, like Scientology or whatever it may be, is actually called an affinity fraud, because he was in with that church. He had made this investment that did so well. So suddenly this guy is social proof. After that, however, he made incredibly bad investments with the money he collected from victims. He had no coherent strategy, and his portfolio was scattered across real estate, investment partnerships, and securities, so stocks, all that kind of shit. Slatkin even invested in one of the worst high-risk investments possible for amateurs, that is film. That is film and production. Not a great idea. Get into, show business is not that easy. So he's like, oh yeah, I'll become a producer. I'll get involved in that. Of course, that's kind of like the California dream. You're gonna get big in the movies. Of course, he had no experience in the cutthroat world of investing in Hollywood. However, a partner, a little buddy, is gonna help him. A guy by the name of Ron Rechow, who one time managed the Grateful Dead and maybe had a little bit of an influence on him. And also later when the Ponzi scheme was falling apart, the FBI raided Rachow's home in 2001. And of course, Rachow was a fellow Scientologist with a criminal past. It's actually the best image I could find of this Rachow dude. Not too many of them online.
Damn. Playing the violin just like TJ. Look at this shit.
Yeah, I'm the greatest violin player to fucking ever exist.
How's that going, by the way, TJ? How's your violin?
I just told you. I'm the greatest violin player to ever exist.
Well, fuck. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty fucking impressive these days. Violin skills. It's astonishing. Astonishing.
So there's actually kind of an interesting story about this guy.
So with the Earthlink shit, did he just luck into that? Is that what happened?
He basically, he totally lucked into it. He invested $75,000, and it was
so everyone thought he was some kind of like whiz kid because he just got lucky.
Okay, well imagine it's 1994, and your next door neighbor is Jeff Bezos, and he's like, "I want to start a little thing to sell books on the internet and stuff." And you go up and go, "Ah, that's great. You know what? Here's $100,000 to do that, Jeff. Good luck." And then suddenly it's like, "Oh shit, you're a genius, TJ. You invest in Amazon." Then and now you're a fucking multi-billionaire. You're a fucking genius, or in the case of Earthlink, you made $100 million.
Right. So everyone thinks you're super smart.
I mean, yeah, when you think that about somebody, like if you knew someone in your life that could make that claim, you'd probably be like, they're a genius, or like they just
they really understood what was going on.
Yeah, they must have, right? They had to have. So the one-time manager of the Grateful Dead was a Scientologist and sometimes art dealer who had gone to federal prison for mail fraud in connections with a cosmetic scam in 1985. Man, it's just crazy how these scammers are just hanging out. They all just happen to know each other. And according to some close to him, Slatkin had told associates that he had actually driven Rack out of prison in 1987, weeping all the way. I doubt the weeping part, but maybe he did drive into prison. So actually, there's an interesting story about this guy. So Rachow, who was a one-time manager for the Grateful Dead, allegedly embezzled from the band $225,000.
No way.
Yep. 225. This guy stole money from the fucking Grateful Dead. Come on, dude.
They were too stoned to notice anyway.
Wow, dude. Like, is that money like missing? When confronted by the band,
bro.
Yeah. When he was I actually have a little thing of the Grateful Dead. What am I thinking? When he was confronted by the band and members Phil Lesh and Jerry Garcia, Rachow allegedly told them to go fuck themselves. He had cut himself a check for what he was owed and then left. Huh. Makes sense to me. It's what he's owed.
Wow. Damn. And they didn't pursue any action against him?
Not that I know of.
Fuck. So he just got away with it? He was like, fuck you, you owed me that money anyway. I'm out.
Yeah, the Grateful Dead probably just went back to doing mushrooms and LSD and shit and be like, get some bad vibes, man. Let's do acid.
Is anybody gonna stop him, man? No? All right. Whatever.
Fuck, bro. I guess just don't come back. But if you do, that's cool. Unfortunately for Rachow, things didn't end up well for him. And on April 11, 2007, he was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison for tax evasion, of $2.2 million since 1985. Bad. But poor Reid couldn't keep it together. Had to keep policing his fellow Scientologists. So Slatkin had paid early investors substantial returns so they could boast to their friends about how much money they were making with him. Like, this guy's a money genius. Heard of Earthlink? This guy made Earthlink. He's a genius. Which, of course, as a Ponzi scheme goes, the more money people said they're making him, the more money comes in the door. And of course, like all con artists, he used the money he swindled from his victims to, of course, live a modest and homely lifestyle in a tiny shack. Now, he, of course, lived large. He had a palatial 4-acre estate in the very exclusive Hope Ranch community near Santa Barbara, private jet travel, luxury vacations, expensive cars, of course, an art collection. If you're rich, you gotta have an art collection. Jewelry, exclusive country club memberships, and of course, to look like a nice guy, donations to charity that allowed Slatkin to present himself as the epitome of success. So charities are for sale. And then, of course, his prestige and wealth and just his notoriety in Santa Barbara grew to immense proportions. Another thing he did is, this is kind of crazy. You guys might be surprised to hear this. He also donated significant sums of money to the Church of Scientology, as did his clients who were Scientologists. Interesting.
I mean, they're basically. I love these. I love the affinity thing, but I've never been much of a joiner. I'm not like, I don't really have a group that I'm like super in tight with. So.
Well, the whole point is that you get in tight with them just to fleece them, though. So
yeah. So does anyone know of what's a really affluent group of people I could get in with?
I don't know.
Like
people that are into like horse breeding.
Oh yeah,
like
those
that's
rich.
They're ultra rich. Like people that are into horse breeding and betting and like Kentucky Derby shit.
Yeah.
People that are into like collecting like high-end sports cars and shit.
Oh yeah.
You could pull the old horse scam on somebody with a fucking rare sports car, bro. Like I could go to him and say, indubitably, I shall put a down payment of $250,000 on this Ferrari. And then you come along and just offer him some obscene amount, and you know what I mean? He gives you
simply must have it. I'll give you $500,000.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'll outbid this gentleman here. He doesn't even look like the man of means to afford such a.
What about like yachting or sporting like people that have like yacht at the yacht club or golfers, and like the country club golf course would probably be a good place to start scamming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotta find something like that.
Oh, you can definitely find it. There's lists of there's like companies that specialize in like working these really super wealthy people.
All you got to do is like rent a yacht, move to fucking some place where there's a yacht club, pretend to be new money, and you're in already. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then I just had to figure out how to scam the fuckers.
Right. And then you just got to use the old fucking rope-a-dope on these idiots once you're in the door. I mean, you could scam some of these fucking people just by getting invited to their homes and stealing shit out of it. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
Like, where's the lavatory? And, you know, they point you up the stairs and you just take like 8 priceless pieces of art and go out the back window. You know what I mean?
Bye.
Fuck that. You stick around, have your partner take the shit, you know, then they're like, oh, these priceless works of art are missing. Must be the help you employ. They look shifty to me.
Bastards.
Well, of course, just interesting that he lent money to the Church of Scientology. It's almost like they were in on the scam, but who knows? Of course, wealth is valued above all things in Scientology. We all know that.
Dude. I mean, you're insulting people. You're insulting people's religion at this point. Scientology, that's someone's faith, Scotty. That's off limits.
I feel terrible about it.
Bona fide religion, Scotty.
Oh, by the way, Slatkin was used in Scientology PR to exemplify the ideal Scientologist. Interesting.
He's probably a wise member. That's the Scientology business rules or whatever. Like there's like a scam within Scientology for people like this who own businesses, where Scientology says that if you're a wise member, then you know what I mean. You have the backing of the church.
Basically, you can bring us way more money in than just us bilking you.
Right.
Like, you're going to bilk other people, so you're basically promoted up in the church, of course. But what goes up must come down. Slatkin's Ponzi scheme began to catching up with him in 1999, and the SEC began closing in.
Poor bastard.
Slatkin later said he tried to buy time to figure things out and find another investment like Earthlink. So his solution was like, I'll find Earthlink too.
Remember when lightning struck? I'll figure out some way to make it strike again.
I'll build a lightning rod. To buy time, Slatkin told the SEC, look, guys, don't worry about it. I've got $300 million in my Swiss bank account. He actually said a European bank, and would pay his investors with that money. So look, I've got the money. I'll pay him. Of course, this bank account was non-existent. Oh, poor Reid. Poor Reid.
Why does everybody always look so much shabbier in their prison shit? You know what I mean?
Because they can't do their little morning care routines and shit anymore. Now it's just like, throw on my prison fucking jumpsuit and
Yeah, this looks like fucking garbage. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean,
he's like-
right.
You're like, well, I'm in prison. This sucks.
So Slatkin was criminally charged and cooperated with the authorities. According to a U.S. Justice Department report, Reid Slatkin misappropriated over $230 million, defrauded more than 500 investors, concealed $90 million in accounts, and commingled investor funds with personal funds. Shocking.
I don't
Criminal
buy it.
charges were later filed against Slatkin, and he pleaded guilty to 15 counts of mail fraud, wire fraud, money laundering, conspiracy to obstruct justice in connection with investigation by the Securities and Exchange Commission. What are you thinking, Reid? In September 2003, following trial, Slatkin was sentenced to 14 years in prison. Authorities used U.S. law to claw back money from those who had benefited from Slatkin's Ponzi scheme, as this included the Church of Scientology. A report by the LA Times in 2003 had this: investors defrauded of $255 million by Earthlink Incorporated co-founder Reid Slatkin are hoping to recover funds from the Church of Scientology International and 6 affiliated organizations that allegedly wound up with tens of millions of dollars from the investment scam, their attorney said Tuesday. The investors won an initial battle with a bankruptcy judge in Santa Barbara recently, and he recently refused to block subpoenas ordering the Church of Scientology group to hand over records of money transferred to them by certain Slatkin investors who came out ahead financially. Wow, it's crazy. They benefited tens of millions of dollars and they didn't want to give it back? Don't say. Here's a quote. Who said this? If you really want to make a lot of money, start your own religion. I wonder who said that. You know who said that, TJ?
Hitler?
Oh, close, TJ. L. Ron
No, it was L. Ron Hubbard, yeah.
L. Ron Hitler.
L. Ron Hitler.
Of course, the Church of Scientology and its affiliated groups fought tooth and nail and refused to give back any of their ill-gotten gains, because, after all, they didn't know. After spending a fortune on lawyers fighting the trustee in bankruptcy court, Scientology agreed to give up a paltry $3.5 million of what was stolen from people. Wonderful. Gotta love them. Slatkin paid $1.7 million in ill-gotten gains directly to Scientology organizations, bankrupt trustee Todd R. Nielsen said in court filings. So this guy was on the record giving them millions, but also funneled money through various organizations as well.
Basically just like a money laundering fucking scheme.
Yep. What that done on its own, basically the people that are part of this group that are supposed to be all super ethical and above board and, looking out for each other. Millions of dollars were in tainted funds were funneled through other investors to Scientology affiliated groups, including Narconon International, the Church of Scientology Celebrity Center International, and the Church of Scientology Western United States, filing said. So they funnel the money through various Scientology organizations. So yeah, it might have said 1.7 million directly, but of course they were also funneling it through all the little fucking fronts that the Church of Scientology operates. Reid Slatkin served 10 years of his sentence and was released in 2013. And of course, pretty much stayed out of view. I mean, look, his life expectancy probably wasn't that long if he didn't. Too bad for him. He died of a heart attack in June 2015 at the age of 66.
May he rest in scammer peace.
He died of a heart attack.
And
he died.
If you look at who actually won from this scheme, obviously Reid did pretty well, but the only real winner of Reid's Ponzi scheme was the Church of Scientology, which pretty much fought a successful legal battle to keep all the money that he
Gotta love him, man.
And of
listen, Scotty, listen, TJ. Me have great opportunity for you.
What?
Oh, you're not going to believe opportunity I have for you.
I'm interested.
Please.
You give Paul all you banana.
Huh?
Paul go into jungle for a few minutes.
Okay.
Bring back double you banana.
Oh my God.
That sounds pretty dope.
My bananas.
Are you saying I can double my bananas?
Double
in a few
you
minutes
banana.
time? Wow.
How long will it take? Like 2 minutes? Like 3 minutes tops?
Just a few minutes in jungle. Give me 20-minute head start. 20 minutes to make money.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds legit. I mean, all the credentials are in order.
Do you guys think that was the first scam?
Fuck
dude,
yeah, dude.
That's interesting. What was the first fucking ever? Dude, I know. I've seen a nature scam.
Yeah.
There's this fucking bird.
Well, the cuckoo is scam.
No. Well, that is a scammer too. The cuckoo bird is a fucking scammer. But there's this fucking bird, right? And it hangs around with these meerkats. And the meerkats, sometimes this bird will fucking go like, it'll sound the alarm and shit, let them know predators are coming. So they all run and hide. But sometimes this bird, when it just wants to fucking steal their shit, will fucking sound the alarm falsely and then go down there and fucking steal their shit. You know what I mean?
Damn. That is a scam.
But the bird does warn them of legit shit too. So you could almost think of that as like a payment for.
He's just taxing them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems fair to me.
Yeah, I mean, the price for you paying attention to me when actual danger is near is that sometimes I'll tell you danger is near just so I could steal from you.
Hey, I mean, he's saving their asses.
Probably worth it in the long run to keep listening to the bird,
And of course, the Church of Scientology. This is pretty much the end of the episode, but a little side note. In its overwhelming hypocrisy, at that time he was convicted and stole from it, its members, expelled Slatkin for not living up to its quote high moral standards. It's always good.
Amen.
Look, guys, they took all that money. They took that millions.
I love it, dude. The dude scams a bunch of people out of money. They keep the money. They fucking fight tooth and nail to keep the money. And then afterwards, they're like, we're kicking him out of the church, though, because he's immoral.
Yeah.
Love it.
You gotta love the Church of Scientology. That's all the scams I have for you tonight.
Church of Scientology is basically just Catholicism minus the pretense of being good. They're just like, yeah, we're pretty much just as evil as the Catholic Church. We're way more open about it. So I appreciate that.
I don't even think they're all that open about it, though. Well, you'll find out in the Scientology episode.
Yeah, Paul, you can disabuse me of my notions when you do your Scientology episode, I guess. But they seem a little bit more honest and upfront about it, just like fight to keep that money.
I mean, the church, the fucking Catholic Church would have done the same thing.
You're probably right.
Yeah. I mean, look.
How are we to give the money back? We've already started work on the new basilica.
Well, the thing is that any powerful group is not going to really concede anything. I mean, look at the Catholic Church. I mean, they had known pedophiles. They've definitely stolen and misappropriated funds. I mean, look at the fucking Vatican. If you go to the Vatican, you realize oh my God, what a fucking scam. As you walk around those buildings and see the works of art and just see everything. And then like, oh my God, look at the stuff they have for sale in the Vatican gift shop and shit.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and they're charging admission to all these people. And you're just like, wow, this is just one of the world's most successful scams that is so successful that not only does it have societal approval, not only do people flock from all over the fucking globe, but like you're looked at as crazy for not wanting to participate in the scam. It's like, all right, great. But yeah, like I said, that's all the scams we have for you guys tonight. Of course, there's no shortage of scams. They never end. There's scams going on right now. There's scams we could talk about. And actually, this one company I'm looking into for they're actually one of the more recent scams that when they came out, I was kind of like, I bet you that's a scam. And then it was like this, I forget the name, but it's like a company that was like, said like, oh, 1 drop of blood and we can test all this shit and blah, blah, blah. I forget what the name of that woman's name is, but that one's kind of an interesting company. You know, learn a little bit more about that one. That's one of the more recent scams that I've heard about. But
you know, my favorite scams are the fucking real primitive scams. The ones where it's just like super basic, like I'll go in out of the room.
Banana, I run into jungle with banana.
I come back with double banana. It's like, wow, cool.
Who I'm talking about is Elizabeth Holmes and the startup called as Theranos. That's the company I'm talking about.
Cool.
It was like, of course, it was bullshit.
I invested in some scam company not too long ago. I mean, I don't know for sure it was a scam. I'm like kind of, I'm pretty much like 82% sure it was a scam. Even when I invested in it, I was like, probably a scam, but I might see a return on investment anyway. Just get my money out quick. And it was a pretty good fucking investment because I fucking made a shit ton of money on that, but whatever.
Yeah, just a pump. You know about that pump and dump one you were?
Yeah, I just fucking went in there. It was like, buy this $2 stock. I'm like, maybe. And it was like, it's $12 now. I'm like, ooh, I should have sold it then, but I was like, maybe it'll go up more. And then went down to like 9. I was like, better sell it now. And now it's down at like fucking 4 or 5 or whatever. So,
well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the scam's over with.
Yeah. But they might pump it again. I don't know.
You should have brought all your banana to me.
The banana.
Could have doubled my banana, dude.
Could double banana, but whatever.
I mean, other scams don't have any appeal to me, but the champ offering me the banana scam, like that's just actually like, nah, I gotta believe him.
You give me 2 coconut, I give you 6 coconut.
Whoa,
What?
wait, you're gonna triple our coconuts?
And you banana.
So, wait, you said you were only double the bananas. Now you're saying you triple the bananas?
I triple you banana, I triple you coconuts.
Wait a minute now. That's
All right,
pretty good.
I'm gonna give
Let's
you like
fucking do it.
500 bananas and like 500 coconuts, and you said you only need 20 minutes, and I'm gonna have triple.
Yeah.
Okay. The bananas and the coconuts are in the mail.
Okay.
Okay.
I have tomatoes coming his way too.
You no can mail. You must give person. I must take them into jungle.
Okay.
Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried.